1017 FM, 710 KEEL. Robert and Aaron in the morning. I got my buddy Dan KEEL in studio for
Good
Robert.
Morning.
Robert is on vacation. We're joined by State Senator Greg Tarver. Greg, I guess it's okay to call you Greg.
I call him the senator.
That's good.
Yeah, the looks like we have a deal. Cooperative endeavor agreement for Ochsner to take over University Health and to run the med school. On a scale of 1 to 10, being 10, you're jumping for joy today. Where are you on that scale?
Well, only problem that I have at this particular time is what is happening to the money that is owed LSU Med School, and why it's not being paid by BRF at this particular time. Why have the state, the governor, have found a way to pay BRF bills for them and give them $13 million for capital outlay that they have not paid anything for? That bothers me. It's coming to the joint budget of the legislature first before anything is approved. Also, at the same time, it got to go through LSU Board of Supervisors next week to be approved before it become official.
Mm-hmm. The governor's executive council told us just a few minutes ago that all the debts will be assumed. So we assume the debts of BRF would be assumed by this new entity. Do you understand that correctly, too?
I understand budgeting a lot. And let me say this to you. Ochsner is not going to assume anything until they get the money, and the money is coming indirectly from the state coffin. And the state is really actually paying this. They're just not going to assume something. The state is backing all of this up through state money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Steve Scrivanos is going to get a spot on the board. You were very much against that. What has Steve done wrong? What are your problems with him being on this board?
I have no problem personally with Steve. I'm concerned about the integrity of the board once it's formed. You just don't divorce someone, then you turn around and remarry, then you take that person and move him in the house with your present wife.
But he still may be good at what he still may be good at what he does. He still may be an asset to our medical community.
Let me tell you something. Right now, Steve is a very fine person. He's a good engineer, okay? But he's not a good operator. To prove he's not a good operator, look at the ratings of University Health. University Health receive an F rating from different companies. CMS gave him 1 star. You don't reward people who have done a bad job by putting them on a board.
But Senator, when there are corporate takeovers in the real world, the non-government world, they quite often keep the old guy around just to be able to ask questions and throw things at.
Well, let me say this to you. Number one, in the real world, in the corporate world, the person knows exactly what they're doing in running a company. They did not know anything about running a hospital. Why don't you look at the history of University Health and the rating of University Health by many organizations that look at hospitals every day? They receive an F all the time because of poor service that they deliver to the people. The people of Caddo Parish received second-rated service under them. I don't think y'all understand. They did not know what they were doing. And the governor is willing to do anything, and I agree with getting BRF out.
Are you confident Ochsner will do a great job? Early on, years ago, you and I talked. You were not in favor of Ochsner coming in and doing this. Now you think it'll be better for our community. What changed your mind?
Well, I did not. Well, the reason why I didn't want Ochsner at first is because I wanted LSU Shreveport to take over the hospital like they always have run the hospital. That is what I want. I didn't want someone coming from New Orleans to control our destiny in Shreveport, Louisiana. I didn't have anything particularly against them. I think they're good operators. They got 26 hospitals in Louisiana. I think they're good operators. But at the same time, we have good operators up here in Shreveport. We don't need someone from New Orleans to come tell us what to do.
Was there a possible Willis-Knighton option to this? I mean, I know we're way down the road on that, and that's over with. But the antitrust mess, that wouldn't have been a possibility?
Well, they're good operators. We know that they are successful operators up in Shreveport, Louisiana, and they are good people, especially Mr. Jim Elrod. But I think that will creep in the antitrust thing all over. So, no one want to go through that suit like they're going through right now, okay? Now, but the problem is we have now is how we're going to structure this situation where LSU will survive. If BRF would have stayed here, and I'm being honest with you, they would have destroyed LSU Med School.
Let me ask you this today. With this Ochsner deal, could take over October 1st. Are you confident in talking to the folks in Shreveport-Bossier in this region that all the jobs are now going to be secure and that quality of care will improve?
Yes.
100%.
Well, nothing is 100%, but yes, I'm confident that nobody will lose their job. That is what it said to us, or should have said to us yesterday. No one will lose their job. And I know that the quality of care will become first-rated in Shreveport instead of second-rated like it used to be.
And, Greg, we're talking to State Senator Greg Tarver, does this secure the LSU Med School for Shreveport for the foreseeable future? Are you confident in that too?
Yes.
Because there's been a lot of talk about Baton Rouge wants our med school. You've heard of all that. You've heard all that mumbo jumbo. Do you think that'll crush that?
That's all it was, mumbo jumbo. It wasn't anything factual. LSU Med School will be in Shreveport forever.
And you know, and I know, lots of big time researchers and doctors have left. Will this deal help attract some of the best and brightest back to our community?
I hope so.
What will be the telltale signs of that happening?
Well, more than likely, research is going to increase. And when research increases, doctors come to deal with research because that is the top notch in medical schools in this country. And I think this is going to happen in Shreveport. I think we are solid. I think that LSU Med School is solid. I think they're going to move forward. And I think more students is going to come to Shreveport, Louisiana, because we are solid. Will
this put the trauma center back up to what it used to be instead of the cuts that it's endured?
Yes, I hope so. I think it will.
Greg,
we have a level 1 trauma unit.
Mm-hmm. And it will stay there.
Yes.
What will we see next? Joint Legislative Committee on the Budget, the Board of Supervisors. What else has to be done before this deal is completed?
I think it's a lot of questions, and there's a lot of questions about all of the 22 documents is going to the joint budget. I think we need to be looking at those and see what we can correct on those 22 documents. And what about the money? And why is Ocean's getting $43 million more money than present?
It sounds like the tug of war is going to continue.
Oh, well, no, always. Anytime you deal with as much money as $400 or $500 million, yes, it's always going to be questioned.
State Senator Greg Tarver, thanks so much. We'll be watching you at the Joint Budget Committee. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.